Alright, buckle up, because my story is a wild ride of messed up family dynamics, abuse, and some sweet, sweet revenge at the end. Growing up, my parents had this twisted idea of tough love that honestly bordered on cruelty. My dad was this violent alcoholic who'd come home every night, rattled and looking for a fight. Mom, on the other hand, was cold as ice, but with this invisible whip of emotional manipulation, she'd snap any time you even thought about asking for help or showing weakness. When I was about 10, my parents decided I was too soft because I wasn't the athletic, badass kid they wanted me to be. So the way they showed love, that wouldn't have been so bad if they hadn't started personally training me at home, with actual beatings disguised as drills. Dad would shout, "If you want to survive in the real world, you need to toughen the fuck up," while he threw punches that left me bloodied more times than I can count. Mom joined the abuse by making me clean the house every single day after school, and do her accounting side hustle, which included laundering money for some sketchy drug dealers that came and went at all hours. I was locked in this cycle of being her unpaid over. That meant one rare, scrawny hug or a slightly softer tone for about 5 minutes, before she'd start berating me for every tiny mistake. The worst was when I was 15. I found out that my dad had been cheating on Mom with some woman from one of his business trips. I thought maybe this could be my opening to start some chaos, but nah. Instead, Mom flipped the script to hardcore. She forced me to confront my dad about it, made me play the role of the angry wife, screaming at him so fierce it genuinely looked like an epic family meltdown. It was humiliating, confusing, and just plain fucked up, making their kid be the emotional weapon in their marriage war. Around that same time, I caught both of them in a drug deal in the basement. Turns out the business trips were all fronts for disposable drug runs, and they'd been pushing me to act as a lookout for weeks. Me, a dumb kid terrified of cops, forced to babysit junkies in my own goddamn house. So yeah, all through my teenage years, their version of love was constant physical punishment, emotional neglect, forced labor, and using me as a pawn in their criminal nonsense. I was trapped, broken, and absolutely desperate. Fast forward to when I finally turned 18, and managed to escape with a tiny duffel bag, and what little money I'd saved from random side gigs. I went no contact immediately, but I didn't just leave. I decided to make sure they paid for every terrible thing they'd done. I hacked into Mom's bookkeeping files. She'd been sloppy with the drug money trails, and anonymously tipped off the cops with the full drug ledger. I also anonymously sent their cheating scandal info to their church and the Mahogany Club, where my dad was a prestigious member. Within a month, my parents were under investigation for multiple drug charges. But here's the beauty with the cops crawling all over their shit. Their so-called business collapsed, and every penny they had saved from drug deals was frozen. Dad lost the church position, community standing, and even got cut off financially when his former business partners found out he was the rat they'd been hunting. Mom got slapped with tax fraud for laundering the money, and their house went into foreclosure because they couldn't pay the bills. Meanwhile, I moved 500 miles away, enrolled in community college, and started building my life without them. I got a part-time job, went to therapy to unravel the trauma, and found some actual human beings who showed me real love. The cherry on top? I ran into my dad about a year later at a shitty bar, and damn, it feels good to finally call my shots.